Hey, Jimbo, come on in, man.
Hey.
Come on in. Jolene's got us all mic'd up. We're able to talk.
Yep.
And,
you move too much. You're on the go too much, and quite often you unhook your wires.
I do. I'm getting cross-wired sometimes.
I don't know how that is capable of being hooked up so that it prevents you from doing that.
Well,
because
Jim,
you're jumping around like a monkey, and you unhook your wire.
I should check that damn thing. It's in my pocket. Do you want to check that, Jolene?
You almost have to check it like every time you move, or like, oh no, geez, it's amazing you don't smash it.
Well, you know what,
wow.
Jimbo, you know what? I'm happy with your car.
I'm pretty happy too.
If you know what I'm trying to tell you. What's going on is Jimbo's got his bottom of his car put in.
And it's kind of convenient. You're able to put this out here because we had to put a patch there anyway. Like it.
That's up to you.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like sometimes you don't necessarily do it absolutely the right way because what it's matching isn't the right way. So you can do the wrong way to make them both match. Like not right or wrong, but if that was perfect and that was like that, it would be a little more difficult. Then if that's bad,
I slap some mud on it.
Yeah, I know. That's how I do it too.
That's how we all do it, Jimbo. That's how we all do it. But I got the front fender, the sill, the quarter, the floor. I did not do the back in here. I just didn't have the ambition. I was done with my happiness.
Yes.
I got it. I got the outside visual. If you know what I'm trying to tell you, I got the outside visual. I'm happy. It took a lot just to put that floor in. I had to do the outside.
I know. Well, I watched quite a bit of it.
It was good though.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It was nice for me to be able to do it, so I know that I can do it in any car, right? You know what I'm saying? When I look at a car like this, at least I know that I can do it.
Well, I've noticed in your constructions, you seem to be really quite happy with the metalwork. You're not really as enjoying yourself quite as much in the mechanic world. And the body fill stuff kind of gets monotonous and dusty and stuff, but you really like bending and fitting.
Oh yeah.
And this kind of gave you a nice break from serious engineering, mechanical stuff and all that knowledge you had to learn.
I'm thinking of doing some more metalwork.
While you're at it. Your mind is geared that I know if I'm doing carpenter work in the house, there's no way I can go out and just do body work.
Yes.
Or mechanic work. Know what I mean? Like mechanic work, it has to be a have to.
I have to put myself in gear.
Yes.
And every gear I gotta put it in.
Avenues of understanding.
Yeah.
And you can't jump from one to another unless you have some kind of program that really works for you.
I like visuals.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm trying to say. I can see that the bottom of the car is there, and I can see the other side of the bottom of the car is there, and that's a good visual for me. You know what I mean? That makes me happy. To go in there and look at the car that we did for the little tiny 34 Chev, just cut it up and make it what it is. That was a visual. That makes me happy. I know what it looks like with body fill on it. I know what it looks like with paint on it. But the visuals to make it come, it never had no sill on it before. Sort of.
I know. Oh, yeah.
So it's nice to have a visual to see what it could look like. I like that part. And then it can be up to the eyes of the beholder after that. It can have whatever color of paint it wants on it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The other side's the worst. It was the worst. But it was the best side, and I'll tell you why.
Because everything was out of the way.
You said it.
It's like you said. It's hard to patch in around and fix the original stuff.
It is. It's so hard.
Especially if it's 3/4 there. Because 3/4 there, by the time you dig in, it always has little surprises all around you that messes you up and makes your job miserable.
Yeah.
When here, you just hack everything out and you can make an easy way, like those sills, putting them out here and fitting them. That's the way to do it. But I know I've put sills on like an old Cavalier or something here to make it pass safety inspection. It took me almost a week apiece because I had to fit it all. I had to weld to the original stuff, and then tar would burn and drip. That was down inside, and the car caught on fire like 50 times.
Well, that was all gone. Had no problem with that.
Yeah, you know, like the new cars have a lot of plastic and baffles and stuffing and all kinds of caulking. You know, sound deadening crap all jammed down inside the quarter panel. And when you weld, it catches on fire, and the plastic interior's there, you can't get at it to put the fire out.
I remember putting a sill on a tracker one time, and I cut the complete wiring harness off because it was in the sill. But anyways, we got her put on. I'm happy with it.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
Yep.
It's good and strong too. I grabbed a hold of it, and you know what I mean. I don't know. There's some work inside the wheel well. Yes, there is. There's some work on the end of the sill. You got to cap that if you want to take the fender off.
Yep.
I just tacked this here.
Well,
just because I tacked it because I want it to fit right.
Yep.
This needs a little piece that goes inside. You'll see.
Yes. And I when I take most of the front end apart to put the motor in, I kind of plan on taking off both front fenders and the bumper.
You'll have to zip that little tiny. I got a little tiny tack weld.
Yep.
That's about it.
And when I bolt them back on, I'll try to put the front fenders ahead like 1/16 of an inch.
And I don't want a bunch of people bugging Jim to have this thing on the road going around the circles in his house in a week. That's not going to happen. This is called a project in mind. So, like, I mean, you can check in on the progress. Yes, you can. But don't expect to see it going around the house next week, right?
Most likely, even if everybody we knew kicked in and helped.
Jimbo's got the idea. Jimbo's got the idea.
Like this engine, it should go.
It probably will. Like, I mean, it'll turn over. So
I can't do it. But if you want to leave this car here for a few days and you want to tinker with your mechanic magic and see if you can fire it up for your own reasons, not anything to do with me, you are welcome to do it.
Jim.
But no one has ever been able to get this motor going. George Heyer, way back in the 70s, was the mechanic, a friend of mine in town, that this car always used to go there every spring to be tuned up so it would run for the summer, and they used to have to bump start it
full time
until he'd mess with it for a day or so and then bump start it, and after you get it going, bump starting it a few times, you could fine tune it, and then it would start. As long as it was run every day. And if it sat for a week or two, then it had to be bump started. And it sat. It's whole life.
That's a prize for me. If you're going to put the other motor in it, that's a prize for me. I didn't grind this side off so you could appreciate the welded side, the ground side, and the welded side. You have two sides to your car, Jim. Whatever side, like, I mean, this is the what it is. I just backed off the grinding to see how it's done. You know, I ground the other side. And I left this side alone. But this is the first time this side's probably ever silled in how long?
Oh, no, these are the sills.
Yeah.
The car's never had sills before.
I know why I had to add a square tubing on the bottom.
Oh, because the square tubing you put on the top. I thought of that afterwards, too.
Yeah.
Like it almost too coincidental, isn't it?
Yeah, it was.
It's exactly that square.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if you'd kind of realized that at the time, you could have made accommodations.
It made a
major plate on the other side.
It would have made it too confusing.
Yeah, but you could have put that plate going down on this side and put it in instead of that side, and it would have lined up with the sill.
Right. Yes, I agree.
It still would have had to have been put on before
the floor.
You even put it in, and before even the rod goes in, almost, to get it in there.
And I put I put a little piece on the end there.
There's
I don't mean to kick your car, Jim.
Oh no, there's nothing wrong with that square stock on the bottom.
What?
That square stock on the bottom will
Jim?
possibly. Yeah, I know.
She's good. Check it on. You can hit any stump you probably want. You probably smash her up in there a little bit, but we'll leave her just like that. So now you get the bottom on the car.
Yeah, beautiful.
Awesome.
Yeah.
My happiness is completed. Somehow I was talking to Jolene today. Somehow I knew once I got into the floor and we pulled this thing outside, had no sill on the outside. I said, I got to put a sill on it, right?
Ooh. Yeah.
You put a piece up in there, but you're going to have to cap that in too if you want.
Yep.
Both ends are going to have to be capped.
Yes.
But that's entirely up to you. Whenever you want to do it, like the seat can go in, the
Yep.
motor can go in. You could sell this thing tomorrow,
I can't sell
and then
it.
you could
I
retire
can't-
for another couple of years.
Yeah, I can't sell your floor.
It's not my floor; it's your floor. It would help
If
with
I
your
sold
retirement.
it's selling your floor. It's not. Yes.
See what? Listen.
It's kind of like
I think that your retirement is more important. If you know what I'm saying. But anyways, it's there.
Well, I put the engine in it, get running, and fix the front fender and bumper a little bit, and get the windshield in, and get the thing just a little bit welded up. I probably will, like, I've always loved the car, so as I said, I can't really say for sure how that it'll be on the road. It won't be on the road this summer.
I wouldn't tell anybody anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do what you like. And that's still sharp there. I just cleaned up with the drill and the stripper wheel. Just clean the weld off, just so you know what's going on. That's how I welded up. And what do I do on this sort of stuff? If I weld it like that, I'll flush grind it to this piece of metal,
Yes.
and that's it.
Yes.
It's over.
Right.
I'm allowed to flush grind
Yeah.
to that piece. I've welded that
And
side.
even a little bit higher than that.
Well,
You know, like on the very, very edge.
yeah,
like,
you can knock it off, but I flush weld that with a flapper wheel now. I like the flapper wheels, the grinder wheels. You can dig in quite a bit with a hard disc that you find.
Yeah.
You can dig in quite a bit, and they're really, let's face it, a hard disc is for big ass grinding, right? Flapper wheel does them nice. You have to be careful with the flapper wheel too, because it can gouge, but that's all I ground the other side off. That's how the other side looks, so I just left one side to look like it could have been the other side. Jolie's gonna butt feel me. I'm good.
Yeah, it's amazing how quick you did it.
Awesome. I knew I could do it fairly quick, but
Now, if you'd worked 8 hours, here's the thing, like you've had this car maybe 2 weeks,
Yeah.
we'll say. If you'd worked 8 hours a day and it took you 2 weeks and I was paying the bill,
Yeah.
that's what I'd expect it to be in the real world.
well,
If
Probably,
I,
yeah.
like, know what I mean? There's a lot of places where if I took this car and they welded it up and did a clean job like this, I'd be paying for 2 weeks labor. And you kind of did it in like 10 or 12 hours.
well, I have to. I don't know where you go to get a floor put in there for
Oh,
2
well.
weeks. I don't know where you go. Where would you go, Jim?
No, yeah, I know.
Where would you go?
Nobody.
Oh,
Yeah.
where would you go?
It's
I'm
kind of
kinda
like a
wondering.
carpenter. Most
That's why I
carpenters,
wanted to
they
show
follow
people.
blueprints or instructions, but they can't create.
Yeah.
You know, it takes a creative person that has the carpenter skill to do that.
I'm just trying to make it easy. That's why me and Jolene are doing videos, and that's why I put it out there, because everybody needs to know how basic it can be.
Yeah.
If it wants to be, if you want to make it basic, it can be. I mean, the cars that we have, they're pretty basic, but they make them confusing so you don't understand when you get into the
Yep.
floor work and all that
Yep.
stuff. And it's not that confusing if you want to simplify it.
Yep.
It's got cross members and it's got a sill, just like a
Yep.
house. You know what I mean? If you can make them go across the floor without hitting anything, that's good. But cool. I'm glad that you recognized that. I just don't know where you would go to get it done in 2 weeks.
No.
But even
I
if we
know.
done it in 8 hours,
Well,
I'd like to show it.
I was just saying that it would take 80 hours for any normal person in the paying world expected for a job like this.
Well-
and it didn't take you 80 hours.
No.
You know, that's like, I know.
I could have got you then, what you're telling me.
Yeah, maybe.
No, I'm happy about that. I'm happy to.
But I've put
to
put
prove-
in floors before, and they don't. And simulating the original,
It's
the
hard.
best- and it looks like crap.
Yeah, it does. It does.
It really does.
And then when
It
you get
looks like-
underneath-
unless you buy floor pans and go all out,
And you
it,
cut 'em in
it
between-
looks like crap.
You cut in between your cross members so you can't see it.
Yeah.
And then you
Because
can't
they
see it.
always
Yeah.
have twisted things that always makes the patch look like shit. Like the patch always looks ugly by
Yeah.
the time you're done.
For sure. And I just kind of done it this way for quite a while.
Because even if you'd left that bump for the seat, it would have looked like a construction of chaotic.
Yeah,
You know,
probably.
compared to this way.
I didn't crown your doors yet, but I'm gonna.
Crown the doors.
Yeah, well, we get
Crown the doors.
You know, they supply undercoating and penetrant and all that sort of stuff. And it's good shit. Anyways, if you want this piece to go across here, we can do that. We just bend a 90 one way and one the other. We can put it across there for the seat. But you just have to know when the seat goes across what the measurement is.
Yep.
Right. So I just tack that back in there. That one's good
Yep,
on that
yep.
side, but I tack that one. But if you want to put this back in, we can. When you put your seat in. And I guess, I don't know, the rest of it's up to you, how far you want to take it, how you want to field beat it. That's entirely up to you after this.
Oh, you never oiled the hinges?
No, I never did a damn thing, Jim. Well, I'm glad that you're happy with it. It's got a bottom on it now.
Yeah,
that's
sure
that's
does.
the main thing. You know what I'm saying? Got a bottom on it. And if you're wondering, Jolene looks amazing today. She's wearing a pair of Daisy Dukes. Little tiny bit of above the belly button showing, and her hair's tied back in a ponytail.
When you say that, you should grab the camera because a lot of people look at what you talk about, and when you talk about
they're
Jolene,
looking through my eyes.
They want to see your eyes. So you have to put the camera up beside you to see show them what you're seeing.
Well,
So
I'm not quite sure if I want them to see what I'm seeing or not, Jim.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah,
I'm
but
saying?
Don't. It's working.
It is working, man.
It's taken a while. It's kind of like
Yeah.
a door hinge pin that's got rust on it.
Oh, I didn't take
and
that.
it's down in there like that far.
Lever out. It's working. You got that right. Anybody that has a new car should be probably trying to get their car undercoated this time of year. And I recommend Crown. I recommend it. You should go get it done. Bus boys out there in Colebrook, they'll do a great job. I guarantee they will. And if you want to go out and look, they'll show you. They'll whatever. We've been out there. We've done it. Wow. Did someone just rebuild
that's
this car?
What? No, I needed just a little bit of attention.
That's good shit, eh? Yeah. But she's looking good. Did you bring any red paint? You want to paint red flames or not?
I didn't bring because I am so tired from finishing the Ferrari paint job on the bumper that I didn't think I could pull it off successfully enough, so I left it in the freezer.
Yeah, well done.
It's still good for a few more days, but if I bring it out and leave it in the warmth for 5 or 6 hours, it'll start drying.
I thought about the bumper, you know. I said, why is he messing with that? But I've messed with it too.
I fixed those cracks I was talking about. Put it out in the sun. I got 4 more within 2 hours. 4 more. I fixed 7 or 8 cracks on one side, and I put it out in the sun for 2 hours, and I saw 4 more new cracks. And I didn't like the line that I had. I had it a little bit too straight, and like it's little complicated to explain, but when I was building the car, I really didn't have a car to go by and very few pictures, and everything was so badly mangled and smashed, and the fiberglass bumper was in 15 pieces that I pieced everything together, and the bumper was too wide for the car. All the door gap, the headlight gaps, hood gap, everything's good, the fenders looked right, and the bumper was 2.5 inches too wide. It opened right up, it was too wide, so I took that much out and shrunk it. Well, by shrinking it, put the front bumper in as a wedge, which went against the line of the design of the car, because originally the bumpers are a little wider in the front. The fenders are supposed to be squished out more. That's how they got that extra inch. And I got my fenders curved this way when they should be curved that way. Just a little bit more of a curve out on the very front. It's supposed to be out just a smidgen.
From my eye, it looks...
Yeah. Well, anyway, what I did was I took on the sides of the bumper, I took mini grinder and
Mini grinder on what? On the plastic?
I took on the fiberglass bumper. I took the mini grinder with paper,
Flapper
36 grit sandpaper on the mini grinder.
Are you serious?
For grinding paint off, and I took the paint off right down to the first layer of primer. That was my fault because when I bought my primer, I bought the old-fashioned lacquer primer, and it sat at ex-nympha for years because nobody buys it anymore, and the bottom was hard, and when I stirred it, it didn't all want to stir real good, so I half stirred it, poured it in the gun, a little bit of reducer, sprayed it on, and I did the fenders and the headlights and the front cowl too, but those still needed quite a bit of work, and most of that got scuffed off in my leveling. But on the bumper, the bumper was quite done, and the paint was on. I put the primer on fairly thick, and then when I went to sand it, I could tell that it's not sanding good. It's not sanding good. It wears the sandpaper out, and it's hardly even scratching it. So I left it, and I ended up priming over it and then painting it. And of course, by not stirring that primer properly at the beginning, I got one chemical on there that acted up as soon as the sunlight hit it, and it
made it dry.
It turned into wet goo. Sticky wet goo that stuck on there, just like I had to take it off with.
That's
80
not a good
grits.
thing when that happens.
Oh, it was awful. I was a couple days stripping it, and then I bought 2 quarts of tiger hair and a gallon of body fill and some yellow spot putty and a whole bunch of sandpaper, and I cleaned up the bumper on the sides, and I mixed up 20 batches of fiberglass. That big, 20 batches, and redesigned. Just now where I fixed the bumper where it was broken with the fiberglass, now it's reinforced. It's an inch thick because that 2.5 inches that I cut out, I put 1.5 inches of it back in on the front, on the curve, to get the bumper, because the bumper had now a straight line, sharp turn, and the fender had a nice slow curve. So I built up the side of the bumper on the side of the car.
Ground it off.
I grounded it down to the fiberglass.
Yeah.
No primer. And then I cleaned it up, and I just batch after batch of fiberglass put on it until I reshaped it, curved round, with the bottom bulged out a little tiny bit, because they had it sunk in and it didn't quite look right to me. So I had instead of it sunk in, I have it bulged out. So I put it on.
It always looks better flooded.
I put it at least 1 inch thick, but not all at one time. But anyway,
you're scaring people.
Yeah, well, anyway, I know, I'm even scaring myself. But anyway, I filled the whole bumper side out with fiberglass until I got it a gentle curve that matched.
Made you feel good.
Until, actually, I went halfway, and I was doing both sides at once, and then I had to keep putting it on until I got both sides the same. Like I'd put it on this side, eye it up, then I'd look on this side. Ooh, I got that side out here. So I'd mix up another batch, and instead of taking any of my work off, I just kept adding to it until I stood back and got both sides looking right and the same, both a nice curve. Like now, the Mondale has the front bumper where it comes from the front tire to the headlight, has the same curve as the fender. Because originally they don't. It didn't. The bumper
so you're perfecting the Ferrari.
So I'm curving it, so now the front end has a little more of a curve, swoopy look in the front rather than a cone look, which I didn't like. And of course, I got it shaped with my fiberglass, and then I switched to the body fill for fine tuning to get it, because it's easier.
Right. Yeah.
Like you can't shape and do refining work.
You can't paint fiberglass.
No, you can't. You switch to body fill to get your level, get everything nice and workable. And
nobody paints fiberglass.
Yeah. But anyway, I fiberglassed, I used the best part of 2 quarts.
Wow.
To bulge the fence.
That's not much. Time you're fixing it,
there's an area this long.
Yeah. That's
by
not
this
much.
high with a line 2 inches up. 3 inches up, there's a line that on an angle like this. And I bulged that. Originally sunk in as it went to the front of the bumper. It sunk in on an angle, and I got mine coming slightly out on an angle. It's still in, but it's
looks better high than low.
Anyway,
everything does.
The rest of the bumper was good, but I foolishly sanded all the red paint on the rest of the bumper, including in underneath.
Yeah.
And then I had to mask for a whole day, all up in around the headlights, and like well, the leftover paper, plastic bag of paper when I painted the car, I opened it up, and that's those chunks of paper and tape are what I shoved up inside underneath the hood so that the overspray wouldn't go in on the headlights and all in around. So anyway, I taped it all up good, but my problem was I didn't have the car high enough in the air, and when I was painting it, I had to lay on the ground, and my gun, the hose and the gun wouldn't fit between the floor and the bottom of the bumper, where I had to spray upward, where I should not have. Never sand if you don't have to. The very bottom of it. Tape it off so you can paint up here. And then take your tape off and clean up your edge. But you don't, like, if you don't have to paint down underneath, don't paint down underneath, because it was terrible. But anyway, I got it all painted.
Don't fix if it's not broken.
Right. I wanted to paint the top, not the bottom, but when I was sanding, I decided to sand the whole thing and paint the whole thing when I shouldn't have. All the bottom plate areas of the bumper I should have taped off.
That thing up a foot.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I already had it up a foot, and that wasn't enough.
Oh, but you had it jacked up?
But anyway, it looks better now.
Are you happy with it?
Yeah. Now the bumper's still supposed to be even wider, like. I still don't know what they're like. Pictures, I studied pictures for 2 years, but it never really helped me as much as nothing really helped me. But now I'm a little happier with the look of it. Awesome. It's curved, like the bumper has a little bit of a curve.
So you got to do it your way, is what you're telling me. You got to do it your way?
I went as far as I could.
You got to do it your way,
to barely catch it where I'm happy, and that's where I refined it.
I'm going to push your car aside for the first time.
Oh.
I want to take a look at the sills on it. You're doing the steering, will you? Steer that between the hoist. I just want to take a look at the sills on it. I haven't seen the doors. And, yeah.
What happens if it rains?
Well, that's up to you. I don't give a shit. I just got the floor done. That's my work's all done. That rest up to you, brother.
We better get some speed on. We got a big bump coming.
Yeah, that's fine. Just want to take a look. We can push it back in, whatever. I just want to take a look at it with sills on. That's all. Look at that now, would you?
Yeah.
You could almost. You need that front window in that damn thing.
Oh, it does.
It takes the look off it, don't it?
I know.
It takes the look off it when the front window out of it.
Yeah, yep.
Got some more stuff cleaned off the pad. Wow, what a time. Looks good. Also got a bottom in the car, Jimbo. Looks good. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Come in. Me and John lifted a little tiny Austin body off the back of that frame. Didn't I catch my club foot on that rock and fall over? Cool. Looks good. Yeah, you get the front window in that put in, Jimbo?
Yep.
Man, that thing will be honky tonkin'. I didn't bang it all up with a hammer either. I just made the panels and put it in.
No, sensational.
Sensational.
Yep.
That's a big word for me. Sensational.
Big word for me too. I usually don't think of things like that.
Sensational. Hey man, the door's shut just like they did without the floor in it, right? Don't they, Jim?
Well,
just like they never had a floor in. That's how the door's shut.
I know.
Perfect. They were saying I should fix your hood and all that stuff, and I said, man. Can't go there.
You got to leave me some things.
Well, I'm leaving you the engine.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot, you know what I mean? You still got, I don't know if you want to put the interior back in, you're going to seam seal, what you going to do? I have no idea, but now you got a floor and you can put the seat in, you can set in it, you can throw it outdoors, you can do anything. Just be careful, she's not bolted down.
Oh, okay.
She's not bolted down. She'll hold your cigarette ashes, but she's not bolted.
Yep.
I was looking at her. She's holding her hands above her head. She must be tired. But yeah, she's.
Well.
You know what?
A lot of it's like I said. I have other projects that kind of
you should put an LS in
keeping me really busy. You know, but now that this comes up in that range, you know what I mean? Like the first thing I'll be doing when I get this home is taking the hood off and getting this motor out.
Oh yeah.
You know,
let me
like
know
I
what
already
motor to pick it
figured
out,
out
won't we,
where I'm
baby?
going to put it. So, but the car, after my plans on it, even if I drive just in the field until
Yeah.
the day comes that's on the road, it's not going to be rallied in a way that I have to put a roll cage.
Did you
in.
see the video
Like, I
that?
don't plan on.
Did you see the video we sent you?
Yes, I did. That's kind of how I used to be. Very free spirited. Yeah. Very,
Ross Galitsky sent it,
Crazy.
and we sent it to you.
Yeah.
It was funny. I laughed my whole life.
Yeah. The guy had no door, sitting on
Put
a
a
seat.
seatbelt on though.
No.
Yeah, he could. I think he put a seatbelt on there at first.
Oh, I thought the seatbelt was to hold the seat down.
Well, maybe it was.
I think the seatbelt was to strap the tire down. I don't know if he put a seatbelt on.
I'm not sure.
Oh, he might have. He might have. Yeah. But yeah, he had fun.
Yeah, it's good. So is this thing allowed to sit outdoors now? Do you want me to put it back indoors and then trail right to your place and then put it back indoors? Do you care if it rains on it? Because if you care, I'll put it back inside and I'll make sure it don't get no rain until we get to your place and you can do whatever you want to do. It's up to you. But for me, my happiness is complete. It doesn't matter to me. It's up to you.
Truthfully, it has to
only-
go back inside.
Oh,
I
perfect.
don't want the rust. I don't want the floor to get rusty.
There you go, man. No problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
I hope that wasn't a trick question. I'm not.
Not even a
Not
little
here
bit.
to give you a hard time in
Not
any
even
way.
a little bit.
But no, I don't want any rust on it.
Okay.
It's not going to sit outdoors at my house
Okay, well
until
then
it's
I
ready.
won't do that to you here then. That's why I asked. And that's where we're going. But I think what you have done there and a little bit of whatever has inspired me. I'm gonna make a floor for this. I think. This is what I'm thinking. It's because I'm allowed to be creative. Jolene has given me the man, do whatever you want. Like she's given me that feeling, you know. She's inspired me. But I might make a floor for this and put it underneath that car, and just to show how to make a floor for a frame that doesn't match. You know what I mean? That's not a 40s frame. That's a Hotmobile frame. It's a 4-door frame. It's longer. But I want to make a floor for it with square tubing. What I'll do is I'll just make square tubing fit all this stuff. I'll lay a floor on top of it, right? Just like your car. Then I'll weld an inside sill on it. And then I'll take that car and I'll cut it off the whole bottom of it and just set it down on top of this. And then go in and make it fit. And be done with it. And have brand new floor. It fits the frame. I can paint it. I can whatever I want to do. And that's how easy it is. I'll just make a floor.
You
Cut the bottom out. Set the car down on top of it. And wherever I want to weld it, I'll weld it on the bottom of the sill like yours. I make the inside sill a distance, you know. I mean, I'll make my square tubing. Inside sill come down to here. I'll put my car and set it down top of it, and then go inside to the inside sill. It's over. Done. That's how I feel.
Well, in some ways,
Yeah.
you make accommodations for the transmission, but basically you could just lay the sheet right down on top. There's your floor already done. You don't even have to do anything.
Well, you need a
Just
construction.
drill 4 holes through it to bolt it down.
Like I'm gonna do the square tubing is gonna come right along this thing here, eh?
Yeah.
Right along here, right along here, right along here.
Yeah.
Cross member, cross member, cross member, cross member, cross member.
Holy
Inside
shit.
sill comes down. You can paint it
Isn't
before
that
the-
almost overkill? Like it sounds like it's awful strong.
Well, I mean, you could put it right underneath the car and then you're done,
Yeah.
right? You could I can take any car and put any car on top of any frame if it's the right length. If it's not the right length, I'll shorten it.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm just going to make a skeleton of this, of the square tubing.
Yep.
I'll put a cross member there, right? Skeleton.
Actually, you could almost run your square stock
Yeah,
here to there,
yeah,
here to there, here to there. Lay your sheet metal down, tack it, do your tack.
exactly.
No, don't even add here. Don't glorify it.
Try
Like
to make
here's
it
your
sim-
frame.
Yeah.
This is the frame.
Yeah.
Now you just run square stock right here to there, there, and there. 3 places. Lay your floor down, mark it, spot well done. Don't even build all this.
Don't even stop. Continue here, here,
you know,
here,
just
here, and lay your metal right down.
I just run it right from here, right across. Lay your sheet metal down on top, and not even X it out. It's already X. You don't have to duplicate that. Like,
I understand.
You know, it's like that Ferrari and that fiberglass thing. It wasn't really my best idea, but it got me the results I wanted. Now I got it nice. I got no cracks, hopefully, because I stirred my primer, and I got a bulge that matches the fender, and I didn't have to take the 3 or 4 days worth of work to take the bumper off, cut it in 2, and width it out and remodify it. Like, I would have been a month redoing the whole thing to suit me. Know what I mean? And I had to, if I just do a little bit of the, like, putting that much fiberglass on a bumper, on the side of a fiberglass bumper, is not the ideal thing to do. But it worked.
What is the ideal thing to do? Get a new bumper?
Yeah. Yeah, like, that's where I mean, like, where do you draw the line? Like, why, like, here, I'm not criticizing you by wanting to put square stock on that and thing, but you're doing 10 times more work than the floor is worth, when if you just put square stock across, lay your floor down.
Can be done.
And then you don't even have to worry about this. This is already built. You don't have to rebuild it.
And I might do that now that you say that, because you can make a tunnel anytime.
Because your expertise can be spent on a more important area.
Expertise.
You know, like, this is just a floor, so if you just run it as simple and quick as you can, then you know, like, there's lots to do.
I agree. Yeah.
You know, unless it's a make work project and you want to make it complicated.
Well, that frame doesn't fit that car.
Yeah.
And I know that car's uncomfortable because I don't want to sit on that frame. And
this frame is narrower?
No, I'm just going to make it sit on this. It's just a different frame. This is a Hotmobile, that's a 44, but I'm going to make it sit on this.
Is this frame going to be narrower here than that one?
I took a measurement and it should be okay.
It should just be inside the doors or even.
Well, when this floor will go up inside that car, and it doesn't matter where it fits. Where it fits is where it fits, and then I'll add the fenders on the outside, if you know what I'm trying to tell you. I'm not scared if it doesn't fit, because if it doesn't, I'll make it fit. I think it's wide enough or narrow enough. I think it's too long, but what I want is the car to be low to the ground, so I'm going to C-channel it here anyway, so I'll make the C-channel wherever I want it.
Oh, yeah.
C-notch it or whatever. I'll C-notch it wherever I want it, so I get a chance to make some C-notches, and I get a chance to make a floor and put that 40 on top of it, and I think it would be good for our channel.
The crown,
so everybody else can see it.
The crown undercoating, do they have different kinds of undercoating?
They probably
have like 2 or 3 different,
different things,
goopy,
probably.
And they have black, and then like they have the stuff that sort of hardens, and then they probably have stuff for inside panels that's wet and gooey.
I'm not sure. I'll have to go take a look at it.
Like, some things you want to spray with something that you can touch a year later and not get covered. And other things you want it to stay wet and gooey inside panels, so that.
I just know they did us a good job when we did it. They have that stuff there. They have this stuff here. This stuff here.
I know in the rust check, there's one can that they have. It does not penetrate. You spray it inside a panel, and it'll build up in a blob and stay there and won't even drip out the bottom, and it doesn't creep. The other kind does.
I want the creeping stuff.
Yes, because you can't get at. Like, the one kind is made for spraying right on the panel that you get covered, but it won't creep. But you want the thinner stuff that creeps, because 90% of your undercoating.
Well, if you can't see it,
you're going to miss it.
You want it to creep if you can't see it.
You've got to have it. So it's got to creep.
It's the time of year to get it done. If you want to do it, out the bus boys out in Cobra. They did a good job for us, didn't they, Jolene? Treat us nice. Yep. They even have that stuff, the Line-X in the box and shit like that. You can get that. Is it X? Line-X? Line-X. I like that stuff. It would be nice, if you're. I know that, if you're doing the bottom of a car like we done your car, if you did the whole bottom of it, wouldn't it be nice to seam seal it and Line-X it? And then put it back
once
on the
I
chassis?
get it kind of like running, especially if I get it on the road, and I don't plan on painting anything underneath anyway.
I just
have it all welded up. You just take it there, and they spray, cover it, and
be done with it. What, you're happy with it, Jimbo? Are you
Oh,
happy?
there, now you can finish. I can help you sweep.
My happiness is fulfilled, old buddy. My happiness fulfilled. I had to make sure that the outside was done for my visual happiness, and my visual happiness is happy.
Well, that's the most attention that car's ever got
How long have you owned that car, Jimbo?
since '88.
1988. That's how many years? How many years is that? 31 years you've owned that car.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that car as a younger person. 33.
33.
33. I remember seeing that car as a younger person at your dooryard when I worked at Rick Salzman's. I'd
Oh.
drive by and I'd see that car. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was
Over in
thinking, wow.
Berwick.
What? Yeah.
When I lived in Berwick.
Yeah.
My first job. Well, I had a couple jobs. I worked at a
Did you ever get
tomato
fired?
factory.
Did you ever get fired?
No. I worked at a tomato factory when I was 16 or 17 over in Woodville, where they planted tomatoes. And then I worked at Mud Creek Motorcycles, changing tires for the 3 years.
Okay.
When I was going through vocational school,
Yeah.
changing tires.
You were-
Used to change motorcycle tires like 20 or 30 tires a day with tire irons. That was my job.
You getting good at it, was you?
Yeah. Horrible job. Tire irons, motorcycle tires. But anyway, then I went to Rick's for a while. Then, of course, went to Larson's. But
Yeah, a lot of people, that's where, everybody got their car restored in the time. It was Rick's, wasn't it?
yeah.
That's where everybody went. 'Cause
Well,
it was done right.
Rick used to charge when he first started. He used to give everybody that came in a real good price, like a real good, like there was no way they could say no. and he'd end up with something go wrong in the job where he had to repaint the car.
You have to explain
And he'd
something.
lose money. And I told him, well, look, Rick, you have to charge more and be more selective. Literally,
everybody
just to
that's
protect
how he's trying to keep his
yourself
job.
after the job's done, to make sure if anything doesn't quite work out, you still don't lose your shirt off it.
You can't tell a job what it's going to cost.
like-
you can guess, and that's the end of
Yeah.
it. You can guess.
You know,
that's
like
with the car.
basically, if you have a nice car and you go shopping around for the cheapest price, you got the cheapest job.
There you go.
You
got the cheapest job.
But it is a lot of money to do
fix
things.
an old car.
To have other people do stuff.
How many minutes, baby? 42. Well, we'll take another walk around the car, just nice and slowly. Take a walk around the car. I'm just going to recap this, Jimbo. Jimbo had this car in his shop for, can I say 20 years?
30.
All right, 30 years.
Yeah.
It did not have a floor.
Sounds
it did
better,
not,
20.
Did not have rockers, bottoms of quarters, and bottom of the fenders. And we made a deal. And Jimbo's helped me out over the times. Jimbo was on the show. He sold us a car. He sold it to us probably too cheap, but I bought it too fast, and he couldn't change his mind. But anyways, I felt like I wanted to help him out by doing this one. So we put that side on. We put the passenger side on. We got quarters and rockers and bottom of the fenders on this side. We did both floors. We did 6 mounts. We did all the cross members, and she's ready to rock and roll, and I'm happy. And that's the end of it.
Wow.
Happy for you, Jimbo. And I'm going to kick it out of the shop. I'm going to take it over to Jimbo's place. Going to put it back in the garage so it don't get rained on, and then I'm going to continue on with something else, just like that. How does that make you feel, Jimbo?
I'm speechless. It's beautiful.
I'm speechless. Right on, man.
And it was
Happy to do it for you, brother.
It was a nice
Happy to
speech.
do it for you. It's a good gesture, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's a good gesture, man. I'm happy to
Well,
do it for
it's
you.
Friday. It's
Yeah.
you don't. It's
Saturday.
It's too bad we don't drink and live
Saturday.
it up and have a good
Saturday. It's
time like
Saturday.
we used to. But
Isn't it Saturday?
life's better quality when I'm not. How do you put that? I used to have a very, very good time when I used to drink and
Yeah,
party.
yeah.
But now
You thought
I
you did.
really don't. I really don't. But I feel a lot better.
Good.
But I don't have as good a time. I have to work hard for my good time.
Yeah.
Like I'm so wore out from doing that Ferrari that I'm rewarded. Like I got all the tape off, the headlights back in, And the paint job turned out better than the car. It turned out better than what I did on the car.
Good time to knock off. Alrighty. Check you later. We'll see you next time. Come on back. Good times here. Good times. How you doing? Not bad.